So conference number 2 comes from Matthew 4:1. Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert. The Spirit drove him into the desert. So the Spirit descended at his baptism and then drove him into the desert. And into the desert, what did he encounter? The devil. The devil has always been synonymous with the desert experience. So the rejection of the existence of angels and demons does not make them any less real or imaginary. When it comes to the existence of demons, it was Pope Paul back in 1972 who stated clearly that evil is not merely the lack of something, but an effective agent, a living spiritual being. And so it's the seraphim, the cherubim, the thrones, dominations, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and angels. God created the angelic world, and he gave them infused knowledge. Angels don't have to learn anything. So the rite of exorcism states clearly, in the whole history of salvation, there are angelic creatures. A part of them serve the divine plan, always giving hidden and potent aid to the church. Another part is called fallen and is called diabolic. They oppose the salvific will of God and the redemptive work of Christ, and they also try to associate humans in their own rebellion against God. So after the fall, Lucifer became the chief of all the evil spirits, now referred to as the devil or Satan. Through the devil's envy, death entered the world. This wicked creature is also known by his maleficent activity. He is branded as the evil one 12 times in the New Testament. The case with Lucifer's sin was that he loved his own good without recognizing the fact that God was calling him to something more. I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And the key word that we hear in these statements is I, which is why we say that the sin of the devil is the sin of pride. Satan, therefore, wanted to be like God, not by nature as an equal, but by resemblance. He wanted to be similar to God inasmuch as God, by nature, is an end unto himself. Therefore, in the words of John of St. Thomas, Lucifer used his free will, choosing to remain the first and an inferior order rather than to become one among others in a superior order. So his sin, you could say, trickled down, and 1/3 of the angelic choir chose also to rebel against God. St. Thomas Aquinas says that these fallen angels become demons and the slaves of the one to whom they have surrendered, namely Satan. The fathers of the church forcibly assert that the wickedness of the devil and his demons, far from being natural and innate, which would make God responsible for evil, results from a personal decision to sin. God did not create demons. God only created good angels, but they chose to use their own free will to rebel against God, and in doing so, they became evil. Now, the church holds to the belief in the victory of Christ over the devil and his demons, but also to the struggle that continues over the course of human history. This struggle manifests itself in varied ways that include the affliction of people, things, and places, infestation, vexation, obsession, and possession. We are warned, your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him, solid in your faith. Being solid in our faith is the most key ingredient that any of us can have. You know, I always say to people, as a Catholic, if you're going to Mass, if you're receiving the sacraments, if you're praying, the devil is already on the run. Again, the importance of community, the important role that other people play in our lives. So Satan is always about divide and conquer, division. So the bottom line is, Satan is a reality, These other evil spirits are a reality, and the church is the means by which we can fight against these realities and to demonstrate our love and commitment for God. Why does the devil possess the human body? We get old, our hair falls out, get false teeth, wear glasses. What's so great about possessing a human body? And the answer is it's the incarnation. So the greatest thing that God did for us was to take on human form in the person of Jesus Christ. And because the devil, again, wants to resemble God in every way, in his own twisted sense, he believes that he takes on human form by possessing a human body. But again, spiritual faculties, the intellect and will, always remain free. The possession is only have to deal with the body, the corporeal.
Does a possessed person know they're possessed?
And some remember and some don't. So some people feel as if they have told me that they're like trapped in their own body. They see the demon working through them and using their mouth to speak, but they are powerless to stop it. Other people that I've worked with and talked to have told me that they have no recollection of the demonic episode once the manifestation ceases. It's almost like they're just blacked out. That moment is just erased from their life. Yes?
So if a person were to die who was possessed, the demon has to separate from them, or can the demon capture them as a...
The possession would end, because again, it's of a physical nature.
Then God can come and take that soul and save that soul.
Certainly, yes.